Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Addison, whatever time you're listening, and thank you for joining us for our ASD Chat for All podcast. We have lots of fun and exciting things on the horizon for Addison School District 4, and this podcast allows us the opportunity to connect with our parents and guardians, families, and community to celebrate our students, their accomplishments, and so much more. Your hosts for this podcast are ASD4 Superintendent Dr. Nick Sutton and myself, Dean Constantopoulos. You interested in hearing more about what's going on in District 4? Come on in and have a chat. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us again for another episode of our ASD Chat for All podcast. My name is Dean Constantopoulos. I'll be one of your hosts this afternoon. I'm joined with my co-host, Dr. Nick Sutton. You know, Nick, so actually, there is another cool event. We got so many cool events coming at the end of the year.
Well said.
And there's one that I really want to talk about that I think the community might be interested in, and it's called the CCC, our Community Coffee Chat. Now, we had one of these back in March on the 24th, and we had a really great turnout. Lots of families and parents came to kind of just talk about anything. And we have another one of these events coming out on May 19th. So that's from when you're listening now. That's next week on Friday. So May 19th at 10 a.m. If you're interested in talking to Dr. Sutton, interested in getting your voice to be heard a little bit, come on out to Indian Trail, the boardroom, on May 19th at 10 a.m.
Yeah, and you can meet the voice of Addison in person. He's going to be there, everybody. The dean, the voice of Addison himself. But yeah, it's a good time. We'll have some light refreshments, so come on in, have a cup of coffee, and visit if you can. But speaking of visiting, we have another great guest here in the podcast studio here to visit with us. So what's going on today, Dean?
Absolutely. In the studio today, we have Eddie Castillo with us. He is our newly elected Board of Education member. So, Eddie, welcome, and thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me. This is actually really neat. You guys can't see it, but it's actually really, really cool. It's very fun. And I'm enjoying it already. We haven't even started.
Awesome. Well, I'm enjoying it as well. And let's hop right into some of these questions. So first thing, for anybody, so we know who you are, of course, but for anybody who's not familiar and who's listening, so tell us, who are you? And then how long have you been involved with Addison? And how have you been involved with Addison and specifically Addison School District 4?
So I grew up in the area, a town just south of here. I came to the U.S. in 1990. Lived in Lombard Villa Park in Addison most recently. It's been about 10 years. I have daughters. They're at Fullerton School, and I have one that's actually here at the junior high.
Yeah.
They're involved in, I got to tell you, I don't know how I do it sometimes, and I don't know how my wife does it sometimes. We're involved in everything from sports. She plays the violin. They play softball, they play soccer. So we're involved with anything my children want to do. We try to get out there. It also gives me a good opportunity to meet a lot of the parents and the kids.
Absolutely.
No, that's very well said. So, first and foremost, congratulations on being elected to the Board of Education. And so now you get to attend a bunch of meetings and there's no pay. And so I say it with a little bit of sarcasm, like, what made you want to do this?
So yes, a lot of people don't realize that this is not a paid position, but not everything in life is about getting paid.
I like that.
For me, it's very rewarding to have a say. And the great thing about the school board and this country is it's a democracy. Whether my voice maybe doesn't agree with the board members, we're all respectful. We're all going to agree, and we're going to do what's best for Addison. So that's why I got involved. Is I have twin daughters. They got 4 years left, and I wanted to have a say and have the parents in the community be able to come up to somebody else, maybe somebody new, maybe somebody they recognize, and be able to express concerns, and then we could pass it along to the administration here.
Yeah.
Very well said.
Absolutely, and especially having somebody who is so currently involved with the school district and the community, it's really nice to have you on board. So kind of going along with that same idea. So like we said, and like you've told us, you've been involved in the community. You've got kids who go to the ASD4 schools. So tell us, what are some of the items that you're most proud of when you think about Addison School District 4, but also just the Addison community?
So being involved, I realized that Addison is full of very passionate individuals, and they take a lot of pride in Addison.
Yeah.
Sometimes the town maybe gets a bad reputation. You hear certain towns, you hear Oak Brook, and you hear some of these very upscale towns, and our town is just as good, if not better than theirs in a lot of ways. From rocking wheels to events, you could just see that there's a certain pride that goes with living in Addison. And I'm actually very happy that I moved to Addison, because I'll be honest, when I was looking around, Addison was not one of the towns I looked at, and I'm happy I did, and I'm happy I'm here. So
That's awesome. We're glad to have you.
So, as someone who was voted into office by the people of Addison, what are some things that you want the people of Addison to know about you? It could be personally, it could be professionally, it could be anything in between. What are some of your goals? What are some of your principles? And more than anything, what's your vision as a now proud board member of the school district?
So my vision is to have harmony, and I know harmony is going to be very hard, but I do truly believe in the school board mission and the school board members supplying the staff and the administration for what they need. If they don't have what they need, then we can't get those goals accomplished.
Yeah.
The only mission that I have is for these kids to be able to come to school, learn something, get them ready for high school so they could be successful adults. If we could do that, I think it's a pretty simple message, but I know that we do have some challenges. COVID set us back a lot, so we're trying to get back to normal there. And we do have a new superintendent, and he's here with us now, but I think the change and the ideas are greatly appreciated. So I think we're moving in the right direction, and there's always place for improvements. Luckily, I have 4 years, at least 4 years, to maybe help with some of those changes.
Well, that's awesome. So for any community members that are listening, and they maybe wanted to pick your ear a little bit about some feelings that they have about something, or maybe there are topics that they wanted to discuss with you directly, what would be the best way that a member of the Addison community could get in contact with you?
Well, I encourage our community to come out to the school board meetings. If they cannot come out to the school board meetings, I highly encourage them to at least follow them on YouTube.
Yeah.
If anybody listening doesn't know, it is offered that way. The other thing is I'm in the community. My children are in the schools. I'm always at the park. I'm always doing something. If you ever want to get a hold of me, please, talk to me. I can't give you a solution a lot of times, but what I can promise you is that I will get it back to the superintendent or the staff here at the district, and they will get you an answer, and they will get you a solution if possible.
Well, perfect.
Oh, I love it. So, do you know, something related to the school district, something related to logistics, something related to scheduling, upcoming events, and somebody wants to reach out to you, what's the easiest way to find Dean?
Well, the best way to reach out to me is actually through Twitter. The handle is at Addison SD4. Dr. Sutton, same question to you.
Like I usually say, I like hanging around on Twitter as well. At Dr. Nick Sutton is an easy place to find me, as well as district email in Sutton at asd4.org.
Perfect. Well, Mr. Castillo, thank you very much for joining us today. This is, I don't know, like having new board members come in, having new staff come in. It's always an exciting beginning of the next school year and everything. So we're really lucky and looking forward to having you on board.
I appreciate the time. I know it takes resources, efforts, and commitment to get these things done, and I'm happy this podcast exists, and hopefully it becomes very successful. So thank you, guys.
Well, thank you very much, and for everyone listening, stay tuned for next time. Thank you for tuning in to our ASD Chat for All podcast. Check us out at www.asd4.org, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts for more. We'll be back soon with another episode, so stay tuned.